What is up, my puffer people? It is I, Caden, your puffer pal, back with another video. And if you cannot tell by my voice, I have the biggest smile right now. It has been so long since I've recorded a YouTube video, but I genuinely feel invigorated. I don't know. I just feel really good. I'm really excited to jump back into stuff. I figured, well, how better with a new series, which if you want to skip to like 5 minutes into the video, I'll be talking for a little bit. So if you just want to get to why you may have come into the video and clicked on it, if you want to get to that part, click to skip to 5 minutes. So anyway, real quick, just going. Yeah, I haven't been posting for a little bit. It's been a day, maybe. It hasn't been that long. It's only been like 3 months. Whatever, dude. That's 3 months. Okay, yeah, it's been since March. So yeah, that's rough, man. I've been busy. I'm sorry. I know I always say this. I really have been working, though. I've been actually legit working hard on a lot of stuff. So been trying to kind of decide where I want to take my channel. Kind of decided I want to focus on video games in general. I don't want to just do one video game. Of course, I've been uploading one video game lately, but I'm definitely going to try to branch out. I'm going to try to focus on a few video games, but I'm going to obviously say something cool happens, I'll talk about other video games. Or in certain series, I'm definitely planning on talking about other games. Am I going to be talking about Kingdom Hearts a lot? Sure. Am I probably going to be talking about Pokemon a decent amount? Sure. But I'll definitely talk about other stuff, I don't want to only be one thing. And of course, now let's get into kind of the little introduction to the... Oh, and of course, as I was saying, I'm back, but I am back. I really am back. I've got 2 more videos lined up after this, and then, of course, then I'll be making more videos. Of course, because these are going to be more kind of scripted stuff. Don't expect them to come out at a too frequent rate. I'm thinking maybe once a week. I'm going to try to bust out a cool scripted video, and then maybe 2 more unscripted videos, or maybe 1 more, just maybe I throw out a tier list, or me playing a game or doing something stupid just to get you, a little more content from me. Anyway, of course, this week I'm going to try to get out at least 2 scripted videos for y'all, because y'all have been quite patient. Anyway, so quick introduction to this new series I'm going to be calling VG Hot Takes. VG Hot Takes is kind of what it sounds like. It's going to be me sharing kind of my more hot takes in video games. Hot takes, if you do not know, or I'd say unpopular opinions. So if I were to say, I don't know, what's an unpopular opinion? Mario is the worst video game series ever. That's a hot take because it's not. That's just wrong, but that's an example, though. Hot takes are unpopular opinions that most people would not agree with, which I'm definitely going to have some hot takes here. Let me just say that. Of course, and I'm going to be definitely I'm going to try to do other video games, I'm going to try to do just video games in general, because I do have a lot of hot takes. I feel personally, and I think it'll be fun to share some of my less popular opinions and kind of defend them and show you guys why. Of course, I have a lot of other stuff I'm working on. This is just a new series I figured would be fun. I try to go a little bit clickbait with the background. You got the white text, you got the picture, and just bad character. Which, I mean, okay, let's get into the actual meat of the video. The title, Aqua is a bad character. Do I think Aqua is a bad character? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to say, personally, I do. I like Aqua enough, but I do not think she's a well-written character. I don't think she's a good character. I don't think she's a good character, which I know there are Kingdom Hearts fans right now who hate me because she has a fan base. When I made my Kingdom Hearts tier list, I got a pretty interesting comment from a gentleman about Aqua. Actually, you know what? I'm going to read you guys an excerpt from this comment. I figured, maybe you guys would like to hear this, fun little comment they decided to leave me. I did get one person saying Aqua and meh finally, so someone agrees with me, but here's a little excerpt. So, Kyrie is good, but somehow Aqua is meh. Seriously, Kyrie is absolute trash from start to finish, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And then, on the other hand, the meh one fixed the mess in most words in BBS, beat Vanitas and Xehanort by herself, broke the Keyblade, spent 10 years fighting by herself, fighting Heartless at their prime, saved Riku in the Dark World. I just don't know how you can tell me with a straight face that she's worse than Kyrie. Okay. A lot of ways. We'll get into a lot of this in the video. So let me just start off by saying I don't hate her. She isn't. I'm not gonna sit here saying she's the worst, but I don't like her as a lot of people do. I'm gonna kind of go through this chronologically. I guess I'm gonna talk about like Birth by Sleep and then go through, ending with kind of her Kingdom Hearts 3 and what's it called? Her Kingdom Hearts 3, and then an overall thought. So, for starters, she just... Listen, her writing, okay? Willa Holland, I love you. You're great, but some of the writing just is not good enough for you to perform ever. One of the lines that just immediately sticks in my head when I think of her bad lines are at the beginning when Terra and Ventus are kind of goofing around, and she says, "You guys would make the weirdest brothers." Which always she like laughs, and it's like they're like, "What do you think?" Laughing at, and she's like, "I was just thinking about how you guys would make the weirdest brother." Like, who says that? That does not feel natural. Friends don't say that type of thing. I'm sorry, but they do not. That's not how friends talk to one another. And even if it is, no, they wouldn't, Aqua. I'm sorry to tell you, but I have a brother. Surprise, surprise. That's kind of how we act. Brothers like to goof around with each other. Brothers like to mess with each other. They have banter. That is how brothers work, Aqua. That's brothering 101. But, like, I don't blame her because the line is just written terribly. Like, you can't make that sound natural. Let me try. You guys would make the most awkward brothers. No, that doesn't sound natural. And just, like, on the writing, too. They just write her friendship terribly with the other two characters. Like, I'm expected to believe that she has, like, this real friendship with Terra, with Ventus. But I really just do not buy it whatsoever. Like, the thing is, when it comes to writing with Terra and Ventus, I actually really do believe they're friends. I really do believe that. Like, I think the writing between them isn't, like, there's not much of it. But honestly, I think what we do get is good. With Aqua, it just doesn't feel natural. Like, and if she is friends with them, she's a terrible friend to Terra. She's literally spying on him at her master's order, which I get she wants to obey and be the good girl. But at the end of the day, you're showing you don't trust your friend, especially in his time of need. She's just driving him further towards the darkness. She's like, oh no, Terra would never steal Aurora's heart to Ventus. And then 5 minutes later, she's like, you know what? I think Terra stole his heart. Terra, what are you doing? Like, what? That's terrible, dude. And then her story in Birth by Sleep is literally just her hunting down Ven. Like, that's not a good friend. I guess she's supposed to protect Ventus. But if your whole story is that you're, like, following the rules and going against your friends, how good of a friend really are you, you know? And I feel like that's so much of her characters, her friendship with them, so that if it doesn't feel organic, I mean, I just don't get the point. Like, and she's the mom of their trio. Like, that's how I would describe her. She's not their friend. It just feels like she's watching over them, making sure they don't get into trouble. You know? And, like, even when she's not, that, and kind of like how I was talking about her whole story is hunting Ven, that's the problem. She doesn't have as compelling of a story as either Terra or Ventus. Because Terra has Xehanort, and he's being driven to the darkness. He's part of the plan. Ventus has to forge the Keyblade, and he has this rivalry with Vanitas. She doesn't have that, and it's apparent. It's so apparent in her story. Like, her story is just, follow Ven and get flippin' hit on by a bunch of people. Which, by the way, I mean, that's so annoying. Like, oh, you're attractive. Like, okay, we get it, but that's not... I'm playing Kingdom Hearts. Come on. We don't need sexist people. Whatever. Anyway, I just feel like she feels so disconnected. If you want to look at a point of her story that I think is so dumb, it's flipping deep space, dude. She basically is like, the lady is alien. Is like, yo, you need to stop Stitch. And she's like, oh, yeah, okay. He's bad. I'll stop him. Like, what? Stitch is a cool dude, but you just hunt him down because you have, like, this desire to follow authority. And that's my big problem with her. She has this, like, authority complex that she has to follow authority figures. And it's really annoying, honestly. Like, I want to like her, but she's just this good girl. Whatever. But it's just, her relationship with Master Ericus, I think, is better than her relationship with, what's it called? Her actual best friend. But even then, I feel like it's forced. It feels like, oh, Terra isn't a master now. Aqua, I gotta trust you. Peace. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, moving on from her character and kind of in the game, and that we gotta get to her strength, okay? People think she's a really strong character. And even the comment I read said she was able to beat Vanitas and Xehanort. So, interesting comment. I disagree. She is not a strong character. Sure, she saved the world, but what is her greatest feat? Let's think about this. I would say her greatest feat is defeating Terranort at the end of Birth by Sleep. Now, you know why that is not her greatest feat, or great feat? Well, Terranort was actually quite weakened by having fought Lingering Will, and had to deal with the fact that, surprise, surprise, he's got Terra literally fighting for control inside him. So you're telling me her strongest feat is fighting a weakened version of someone who's literally got conflict inside his heart? I mean, I just don't think that proves she's that strong. And spoiler to Cage 3, she loses to Vanitas against Vanitas. Sure, she could beat Vanitas and flippin' Birth by Sleep, but then she needs Mickey's help to beat Ventus Vanitas. And even then, doesn't Ventus stop him by, like, destroying his heart? I don't know. I'm just saying she really isn't that strong, honestly. Her best feat is beating someone who's already been weakened and is, like, come on. Like, she's not that strong. Don't get me wrong, she is definitely a strong character. She's a Keyblade master, and her magic is powerful. But honestly, I mean, I just don't see, like, her with this, like, super strong feat. Like, even if we look at Terra beat Terranort before Aqua, so he wasn't as weakened at that point. So I'd say Terra is easily stronger than Aqua. I don't know. I think people would disagree with me, but I'm just saying. And then, of course, the ending of the game. Her sacrifice into the world of darkness. I'm going to be honest, it didn't feel natural or compelling. It's a nice sacrifice, and I definitely gained respect for her character when she did that. But you know, the problem is, it feels like she did it because it was written in. It doesn't feel like, oh, I need to save my friend. It feels like, oh, the writers want me to sacrifice myself. I'm sacrificing myself. And obviously, she's not a person, so, like, the writers can't force her. My point is that because in my opinion, the friendship wasn't really developed well enough between her and Terra, honestly, I don't feel oh, wow, she truly cares about him from the sacrifice. I feel like, this is how they want her to do it. Okay, I see. You know what I'm saying? And even then, her sacrifice, and this obviously doesn't make her a bad character, is useless. all she does is release Terranord into the world and causes everything bad that happens in Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and 3. I mean, I'm just saying, like, she truly is not a very, like, good guy. Like, she truly does nothing in Cage, Birth by Sleep, except hurt the world and be a bad friend. Okay, it's point 2 time. Now, I'm just going to start off by saying point 2 is a boring game, in my opinion. I don't find Aqua compelling in this game again, so I just find the game overall boring. And I find that the most compelling parts of this game are when we see Ventus and Terra. Like, I think when we see Ventus and Terra, like, and Terra's, like, talking to her, and then there's the whole Terranor thing, I think that's really compelling. I find that a really interesting part of the game. Like, I really enjoy that. But besides that, I find when it's just her, I find it rather boring. And I think that's why they made it such a short game, because they realized Aqua cannot hold her own game. Even if you look at Birth by Sleep, we have 3 characters. For a reason, she can't hold her own. And then when Mickey shows up again, it gets better. And she again sacrifices herself, stays in so that Riku and Mickey could close the door. Great, yeah, whatever. I mean, again, it's a good sacrifice. It's like, congrats. I don't know. I don't feel the sacrifice again. And, like, they kind of start to introduce, I feel like, her battle with darkness, which we see in Cage 3. I just don't feel it. Like, I'm sorry, but when you're this good girl and, like, you're supposed to be Miss Perfect, am I really expected to believe you have this, like, battle with darkness and yada yada yada? And we see it again in Cage 3. It's like, sure, she becomes Dark Aqua and stuff, but, like, she doesn't actually have this battle with darkness or anything, because, quite frankly, she doesn't, like, she's not giving into darkness or anything. She's literally known as, like, the good girl. Oh, I'm so good. So, like, by her being this good girl, it takes away from her story, too. Okay, now Cage 3. So, I've been talking about Dark Aqua. Dark Aqua was honestly a very cool battle. It was a cool scene. It was very good. But again, her succumbing to the darkness just doesn't make sense to me. Like, and I get that it's supposed to be, she lost her Keyblade and everything was despair. But I feel like if you have as strong of a heart and everything as she does, you'd think she wouldn't succumb to the darkness. Kind of like how Terra, I feel like, was always there. Even when Terranord had his body, like, he had lingering will and he was the guardian. I feel like she should have at least not become Dark Aqua. Maybe, like, she branched into 2, like, kind of Ventus and Vanitas. But I feel like her becoming darkness and stuff took away from her actual character, I will say. Then when she comes back to the world, she loses to Vanitas. She loses that fight. If it weren't for Ventus waking up, she 100% lost the fight to Vanitas. Which, like, you could say what you want, but honestly, like, I'm gonna say it, like, as although it was a close fight, sure, Aqua did lose. And if you're losing to Vanitas at this point, who, I'm going to be honest, I don't think is that strong of a character. We haven't seen him be that strong of a character. If you're losing to Vanitas, how strong can you really be? Oh, she's weakened. She just came out of the realm of darkness. Yeah, that's fair, but then you have to count the fact that Terranor was weakened, and then you're still saying she's honestly not that strong of a character. So, no matter what, honestly, my point stands that she really is just not that strong in combat, which obviously does that make a good character? No, but I like her to be strong. I don't want to, I don't love when my characters are, like, as weak as can be. But, like, so I don't know, it's just my opinion. I would rather her be stronger, and she's not. And people act like she's so strong. She's just not. I'm sorry to tell you. And then, so in Remind, we get, like, this thing where she's, like, afraid of her dark self. I don't know, that just confuses me. Like, I think it could have actually been a really interesting storyline to take with her. Oh my god, I'm afraid of this now darkness that I saw that is inside of me. But they just, like, again, because of our good girl thing, we never see it until, like, the one scene in Remind. I wish we saw more of this. And maybe, like, I think we need, like, more time with her in that game, which we don't get. Like, if we had more interactions with her and maybe, like, Ventus, where she's like, Ven, I'm, like, actually, like, talking to him about, like, the darkness and how she can feel it or something. That would be really fascinating, because it would actually give layers to her good girl, that she is this good girl, maybe because she is afraid of the darkness overtaking her, and that she has a bit of darkness in her. But because she never acknowledges any of that, it just feels forced. It just feels like, oh, she's always a good girl, and then darkness will randomly pop up, you know? So, like, overall, do I hate Aqua? No, I really don't. I really do not hate Aqua. I think that she is conceptually one of the coolest characters in Kingdom Hearts. I think the fact that she's a magic wielder is really fun, because I really do like mages in a lot of fiction and stuff. I think that her being part of the Wayfinder trio should be really cool. I think that she is kind of the more responsible one to counteract Ventus and Terra. Should be well done. But the problem is, at the end of the day, I don't think the writers know how to write her. And because of that, she ends up just becoming, instead of like this awesome character who feels like a friend who really cares about her friends and just wants them to be safe, she feels like a mom who, instead of wanting to protect her friends, wants to keep them in check. Which I just really hate, because I feel like it's such a waste of a cool character. So just real quick, final thought. I'm just going to say Aqua, real potential to be a great character. But as of now, because the writers don't understand how to properly write her, she is not a good character. Her friendships are bad and not developed enough. She is not a strong character, and her battle with darkness has not been given the time and effort it needs to make sense. To all you Aqua fans, I'm sorry, but I say Aqua is a bad character. That is all for today, guys. I thought I would share for the first episode of my VG hot takes, probably my biggest hot take. I hope you guys enjoyed, because I actually put a lot of effort into writing this video and making sure it came out nice. I'll see you guys next time. Y'all are great. This was a fun video to make. Uploads coming back. And until next time, my puffer people, stay puffed.